Hi guys, my name is Topcheri what, and I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an author, I'm an actress, and I'm an award-winning musician as well.
Hey, it's Kellen, and today on Diversified Game, all the way from Namibia. Yes, she is a star worldwide, though. Don't put her in a box. I have Topcheri. What? She is here to give us the game on how she has risen to one of the top talents in her country and Africa. It's one Africa, people, for me. So we're investing in Africa. Topcheri is going to give us the game on how she's a musician, an actress, an author. We're going to get all in her business. Topcheri, how are you doing?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Everybody is well, and they're gonna be blessed by the game that you put down. I kind of just want to give folks the shock value because nobody ever knows what may come out of your mouth, and I just want to set it all up that she has some great videos, over 1 million views on YouTube, but her books, let's just start there, Topcheri, because I'm looking for the books on Amazon and I'm like, where are the books for the Americans or the folks in the West? Do we have to come to see you to get it?
Well, yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get there yet. The books were only available for physical. I just printed physical copies out. So I never really got to put them on Amazon, but I'm hoping to do it soon though.
Okay, and that might be a conversation we have off air because I'm gonna really push you and say, hold on, you got to share the love in the game. Now you've been doing music for a while, and you're also an actress. Tell us, when did you make the shift? This is going to be an interview like no other. I've seen your other interviews. We're not going to ask those same questions. So I want to know what made you go from music to acting.
Well, when I first came to Windhoek is the capital city of Namibia. So I came from a small town, hey? So when I came from a small town and you go into the capital city, you don't just arrive and decide like, oh, like, yo, I want to sing. Let me sing. Give me a mic. You need to go through processes because it's really a process, especially in Namibia, to even just go mainstream. It's really, really a process. So when I first got to the capital, what I did is I started work as a journalist. I was working as a journalist at a newspaper, and then through that, I used to write a lot of stories, fiction and non-fiction stories. So people would tell me like, "Oh my God, your writing is so good." So from there, I had started writing books, and yeah, So when I was Topcheri, I was Monica, the author, and through the process of being a journalist, I interviewed so many artists and so many producers. And at some point, I was like, yo, hey, like, invite me to your studio sometime. Let me come through. Let me show you what I can do. And luckily for me, I went on a trip with PDK. PDK is one of the biggest trios that we have in the country. We went on the tour because we went to go shoot. It was also one of the biggest films in the country, by the way. And from there, I became friends with these people and I started recording. And when I started recording, because my sound was so different, my vibe was different, so people just loved it immediately and it blew up immediately.
Now, you have also a love for PR, I know. So can you see yourself, or do you already have a business that you say, you know what, I got to get that PR bug out of me. So while I'm an artist, I'm also going to hire people to not just do my PR, but others' PR in the country.
Yeah, well, that is what I do on a daily because now, especially with COVID, being an artist basically is on hold, is on standstill because of COVID. So I do still do, especially social media marketing for a lot of companies still. This is something that I do on a daily.
Okay, and talking about, since you brought up COVID, I know you were recently arrested for, having doing what you do as an artist. Talk about that and that journey. Were you treated special, or were you like the other 30 plus people, all in, confined?
Well, honestly, I'm I'm a law-abiding person. I'm a very, very. I hope you are drinking that water because you are really thirsty. So, a colleague of mine, Sally Boy, was like, "Yo, you know what? You have a hit song out, and I'm trying to do a covered song. I'm trying to do a covered concert. I was hoping you would pull up and do a song or two." So I was like, you know what? It's been a minute since I performed, so let's do it. But I thought my homie did the things that needs to be done already. He called the cops, he got the permission, basically what you need to do to have a concert in the pandemic. So I went, I pulled up, I was even there an hour early because I like to be the girl that's early because I need to read situations so I can know how exactly I'm going to balance my performance. So when I got there, they was like, "Oh, why are you so early? We're still busy and whatnot." So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drive to the service station real quick, grab something to eat because I just came straight from work things, and then I went home, and then I came straight here because I thought I was late. 2 minutes after I came from the service station into the club, I saw blue and red and green lights everywhere, and it's woo, woo, woo. And I'm looking at him like, you better say something, you better tell me something, because in my head, I'm like, "Nigga, you better say something. I thought you have the permission to do this." And it's like, "Yeah, I did. It's just my homie." But when the cops came in, I was like, okay, it's still fine because we are not a lot. I think we were like not more than 10 inside. We are not more than, but this lounge has like a whole back side. And when the cops came, some of the cops went at the back. And when they came back with like almost 50 people. And I was like, I didn't even know there were all these people at the same premises that I am because I know it's COVID and it's strict. It was very strict at that time. No partying was allowed. So these people came in. When they came in, and one lady noticed like, "Yo, that's Topcheri right there." They were like, nah, we gotta arrest these people because these artists, they always think they are special and they get away with things. And I even kept saying like, "Guys, me, I just came to do my work." And that lady told me, "Well, I'm also just doing my work, mama. Get into the van." So I was arrested. Like,
How long did you have to stay arrested? Was it something where they just kind of booked you? Arrest here in America means something totally different. And so you might be in there still to this day if you're in America. So how long did that last?
No, we stayed there a full day. Yeah, we stayed inside for a full day.
Men and women together in the same cell?
But it was basically like holding cells. I'm not really gonna say like it's prison. It was just like holding cells.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So a whole day holding cell, everybody together. And so they don't separate the men and the women. So how do you use the bathroom?
No, the bathroom is all the way outside. If you want to use the bathroom, you need to go on the other side. Like the structure is different because it's not like the cells itself. You were just like in a holding cell thing sort of situation.
You should shoot your next video there and show the American audience what that looks like, because we think of, you've seen the movies, maybe you've been here to America. It's a different process. Booking is, is a whole different process. I don't recommend anybody going through that, but it'll teach you.
Yeah, it's as bad. Like I see American news and the police news all the time, and no, it's really not the same. It's so different. It's so different.
Yeah, you guys are civilized, where we are profiting off incarcerating people, just like enslavement. That's what it is. Now tell me, what type of pushback do you get? You're young, you're beautiful. Your videos can be racy, even though sometimes you're calling, to heaven, whatnot. But what type of pushback do people give you being you, even with your books that talk about sex? An African woman's, that's taboo.
Well, I think with the Namibian audience, I think they sort of already just boxed me as that girl that likes to just she doesn't hide anything. She just says it as it is. So people think music video concept or even just a photo shoot concept, people always know that you always expect bigger or more or huge from me, because I never like do little or try a little. I always want to do
Do you ever get in situations where, because you are so free to be you, that people might try you when it's not wanted, or think that, oh, I can be with her because I saw her on the video and she is just so open, where, many women are more conservative.
But the thing with me is, how people misunderstand me is, I'm only Topcheri stage when I'm working, when music, then I'm real life. When people meet me in person and I'm so quiet and I'm shy and I want to sit in the corner, and they can't align it with the Topcheri that they know. But because Topcheri, it's just, you don't even say, okay, character. It just comes when it's time to be Topcheri, it's time to be Topcheri. Even when I write, if I'm writing for Topcheri or about Topcheri, the energy is so different from the person that I am in person. Yeah.
That's the character, but you are also, have gone on record to say, and this is not a big taboo in Africa, but to say that you would allow, to have a husband that had more than one wife, where if you come to America, I'll get you married. It'd take me 1 month, because men will line up. Wait, I can have more than one. It's in me, right? So in a month, I could have it done, bride price and all.
Yes. Yes. No, true, because like I said, I have different beliefs of children, all these things. So most of the time, my opinion and my thoughts the same as the next person, but own thoughts about things.
How has COVID impacted you now? You guys aren't in the numbers of America where hundreds of thousands of people are dying in your country or on the continent. So how is lockdown? Is it still going on? What's the situation?
The situation here is we this it's not really lockdown, but clubs are open, but there's a certain amount of people, like only 50 people are allowed in a club, for instance, or a show or a restaurant. Yeah, but it's not that strict. First time they did it, where there was supposed to be no movement at all.
Okay, so no movement. Now, are different neighborhoods being treated different? Because we know, the Germans are heavily there, are their descendants, is the Black community treated the same as the more Wazungu community?
Well, in Namibia, the Black community and the white community, it's sort of just two types of societies, each doing their own thing. The one, we never really have those type of incidents where you say that the the the, the white people, the Black people. With here, it's rather a thing of the who's, the CEOs, the ministers. They are treated. They have special things and whatnot. But it's not really a thing of black and white. It's not really. It's really, really rare.
So is it more a classism if you have money versus if you don't? Okay.
Yes, it's more that, and not really a color thing.
Okay, and so are the classes? Give us a picture of how the different classes are treated, because artists are always known to speak out. And how is the upper class being treated better, I would only assume, than those who are, poor?
This is now in with the COVID times, or in Namibia in general.
You can do both. You got free reign to speak your game and give us an insight.
Well, Well, in Namibia, it's just things like you have special things like people would get land on specific prices because they are affiliated to war. People would get good jobs, specific positions because of affiliation and things like that.
Okay. Can the
If you have been reading our our news headlines for the past few months, it has also actually been that people having jobs out of getting good jobs and not having the qualifications for it. People getting positions because they have relations with someone that is within the government and all that type of yeah.
Okay, which happens everywhere because many
Yeah.
people get friends because of jobs, and it's who you know is who you hire and who you like and who you date. So it's very your country is very like the rest of the world that
Yeah. It is. It is actually yes.
Now, tell me more about your acting and what films that you have done or that you may be working on shortly, and just are they international films? Are they local?
Well, yes, I like to call myself a national treasure so, because most of the content that I do is mostly for the really direct local audience. So, yeah, I'm working on a film production currently that we are hoping to start in the next 2 months or so. So it's just things are a bit slow because this whole COVID thing, everyone is using COVID as an excuse. We can't really sponsor this because COVID. We don't have the funds to sponsor this because COVID. So yeah, basically everything is just you just really need to do 5 times harder, work 5 times harder, try 5 times harder.
Okay, well, I mean, in everybody worldwide, it's the same thing. Some people are saying they haven't changed their life because of COVID, and it's like COVID is the time to actually start to create and make that change. So don't use COVID as an excuse not to be productive.
Yes.
Now, with the films, a lot of your videos are like movies, are like TV shows. So are you writing your own stuff as well?
Yeah, you never really once if you are writing, you never really stop writing. So yes, I write all the time. I write all the time. It's just a matter of what you will use, when you will use it, for what you will use it, who you will use it for. But writing never really stops. Every day you have an idea, you have a concept, you have every day.
Now, let me ask you, and I got to go back to the, in case folks did not hear it, you're okay, you've said in other videos, and I told you I could marry you in a month in America with this type of mentality of a husband having more than one wife. I don't know if it's the Leo in you, but I want to, can you explain to the audience where that thinking comes from? Because more and more now, Black American women are like, yeah, polygamy is okay. And, explain that.
Well, I think with me it's more a thing of personal thought, personal opinion. I believe especially in my country, the divorce rate is the highest thing. So and then when you actually get to talk to people and you identify the things that causes this divorce rates and causes all this unnecessary things in marriage is most the people later you get there's nothing to do. You know this person so well that nothing is new, nothing excites you. So I can always feel like if there's another queen to hold it down, well I am busy trying to do something else and I am busy focusing on something else, focusing on me, focusing on. And then when I get back from there, I can find you are not so, it's so hard to explain, but I feel people just exhaust each other to the point of I can't stand it. So if there's a division in task, division in time, there's someone else that can capture and satisfy that side of you. And when you come back to me, and I can give you 40% and not 100, because this marriage thing is you need to give your 100, your entire 100 to someone else. That's how people just end up with all these divorce things, because later you are annoyed, you are exhausted, you are done.
You know what? When people say they are bored in a relationship, I kind of tell it like I tell my kids. I say, if you're bored, maybe you're boring, and maybe it's up to you to spice things up and everything. Like, I'm out of the box thinker, and so is my wife, but she's from Cameroon, and her grandfather had, let's say they stopped counting after 50 wives and, hundreds of children. But you really have to think that what works for you, and you don't have to tell everybody, because we know that people don't have the best intentions once they know all your business. I'm sure you've seen that. But your country has, at least the internet says, one of the lowest divorce rates in the world. So, I love the thinking, and that might be a book for you to write.
I would really like to know where you get those stats, because I'm personally able to send you stats that was even released, I think, 2 weeks ago in the newspaper. In a day, there were over 500 people that went in to file for divorce. And that's in a day. We're not talking about a year. We're talking about a day.
Well, I'm actually going to send you that, because from a law firm, and again, this is just, the outsider's opinion in a quick Google search. So I'm definitely not saying, not saying I'm an expert at all, but just, in America, they tried to push the divorce rate so high, but when you really look at the numbers, there are some things that will stop you and have you have a better chance. If you are educated, you're less likely. If you are married before you have children, and if you go to church or have some type of faith, based thing, you're more likely. So, it just, a lot of times media, and you know this from being a writer, the negative sells worldwide more than a positive story.
Yes, true. Yes.
So, but I love the thinking. I have to ask, Topcheri, how are you collaborating with other African artists? Maybe, once P Square gets back together, you'll say, hey, I can get down. Or maybe there's someone in South Africa that you really want to collab with, and maybe even in America. Like, how are you doing that? Or is that not even a goal of yours?
It is a goal, but it's for a small country, like, it's things that we've all tried. Even a country that is just here by South Africa, it's really not easy, because, for example, the feature that Casper will ask you for, the money that Casper would ask you for a feature is not even half of the money that you get for a show, for example. So it's more a thing of not being able to afford rates and so on. And just also, Namibia is not so big in terms of the recognition for a fellow, or even a person, an artist in America, to say, yo, in Namibia there's this artist, let's highlight that person, maybe we can work together.
Well, can we talk about the money and be as open, or let's give examples, because a lot of times in America, folks will see someone on TV, whether they're a musician or a news reporter, and they think this person is rich because they're basing it off, they one time heard somebody on TV made $1 million every time they came on TV. So is the show money and the album money and the money that you get from, YouTube, which we know they rip off, Google rips off African content creators, no matter what you do. They don't pay what they pay you, what they pay us. So is being a musician enough money? And are you rich? Is the dog rich? Is Sonny Boy rich? Is
I honestly don't know about the dog or Sunny Boy. I'm definitely not rich. Big, like I said, it's like shows, it's not the same, the money gained this side is not really the same, and I think we are around about plus minus 10 artists that are able to say that they actually live from endorsement deals, because I have quite a few endorsement deals with corporate companies, that keeps you at least going. But as for other people, especially at a time like this where there is absolutely no shows, I'm really unable to tell who is rich, and if there is those that are rich, really, then we are really happy and we are really proud of them.
Okay, well that gives some insight, and I'll say this for all the artists, no matter what the genre is, that come to your country, they need to be collaborating. This is something that I've preached to musicians and entertainers. If you're not collaborating with the locals, you're really just coming to colonize. And I've talked to artists. Go ahead.
And that's what happens here actually every time. We, as event organizers, hire like really big artists from SA, from Nigeria and whatnot. But basically they just come here, they do the show that they need to do, and then they are gone the next morning. It's not ever really a thing of, oh, would you like to meet a Namibian artist? Would you guys like to work together? And if it does indeed happen, then we are yet to discover when it happened and with whom.
Okay.
Normally, they just come, perform, and then they're out the next morning.
So this is a note to all of the producers and all the promoters and everybody involved. We need to put a clause in there that if you come, you need to come and, actually connect. Because if you come to Detroit, there's artists, rappers like Trick. If you're not putting somebody local on, your whole show has stopped. And there's, I'm not saying anything that in music people don't know. If you come to my home city in Oakland, California, and you don't want to put the locals on, coincidentally, you might see a fight, a shootout. Something will stop in the at your show because you need to put somebody local on, because you need what they call a hood pass. And your country is not the hood, but they need a pass and to really connect. And so that's a beautiful thing that I think we can push to the people.
It really is a beautiful thing. But the thing is just like I feel like even artists in Namibia, we even made peace with the thought of that going international, for example, is a far-fetched dream. You get? So yeah, basically that's just where we are.
Well,
international is.
Well, what's interesting about that is that, okay, the musicians may think that because it's so hard, but this is why conversations like ours are so important. But I can say, when you have a model from any country, and if she's on Instagram and then she's, thirst trapping out there, nobody cares where she's from, and she can have 1 million followers. And you probably have a couple from your country as well who they don't even talk, but they just pose. So if they can do it, now the musicians have to go talk to them and say, hey, put my music behind here and let it go international. And we really all have to connect.
Yeah, that happens with the socialites and. Or you mean socialites with outside of Namibian borders?
Correct. The socialites who like sponsors, who like what do they call them? Blessers.
Yeah, but like I said, with us the problem is financing whatever you are able to do. Even to get a collabo with, let me say, Yemia, like Dave, for example, that would be like my dream come true, That it's something that is able to be done. You can do it. It's just for you to do it, you need to have her feature fee, because people like serious artists of that caliber are people that obviously you don't play with their bag like that. If you want a feature, you pay for the feature, and unfortunately, those amounts are money that we are not able to just take out and say like, yo, take here, let's have a feature.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be some give and take, and you can't You know, you couldn't, if Rihanna comes, you can't pay Rihanna what she would get paid in New York. It wouldn't make sense. But Rihanna also has to understand, or whoever it is, I don't want to pick on one artist. They have to understand that this is how you give back. And this is also when the West says you're done. Now you can go make money. You know, artists then go to Asia, go to South America, go to Africa once they've fallen off. So really, a lot of times artists have in America fallen off and then they go overseas because America is very like one night standish. I love you today, get out of here tomorrow. But in giving back and with the success that you've had, what is a community give back that you are doing or that you want to do with what you have been blessed with?
With what I do for the community?
Yeah. What's your community give back that you are doing or that you want to do?
Well, if you've been following my social media, I that is like the one thing that I live for. People refer to me as the girl child hero. So I do give them produce all the time, especially those that relate to the girl child. We have a issue in Namibia where the girl child that stays in the village, live in the village, in the rural areas, they miss school and don't go to school because, of the period. So I would normally do little shows, raise some funds, get some sponsors, and buy in bulk sanitary items that I drop off at different schools in less fortunate areas of the country. In weekends, I also mostly run soup kitchens. I donate. I go there to cook for the soup kitchens in Katutura. So yeah, I do so many community projects.
So if you guys are connecting the dots, and I was talking about her bride price, she can cook as well. So she's not just all arts and entertainment. She can cook. So when you inbox me, make sure you put that on the bride price. We're not negotiating in goats. This is cows and everything bigger. So I'm glad that you have blessed us with the game. Please, folks, like, share, subscribe, especially for the majority of the audience who are listeners. Share this game with the video, share this game, and, we're going to take this off air. Be blessed, y'all.